So welcome back to your World's Strongest Man News go-to source, where I'm going to begin today giving you updates on every competitor. We'll spotlight one of them every day so you can keep up to date on how each one of them is preparing and how well it's going for the Brian Shaw Inaugural Classic 2020 on December 12th. Ciao, homie! Welcome to My Block Strongest Man, where we bring attention to the world of strongman and show you how you can mimic those activities using everyday objects all around your own property. If you haven't done so yet, consider subscribing and remember to hit that bell button for all notifications so you'll know whenever I provide all the valuable content every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So without further ado, on to today's topic. So I wanted to start off today with my favorite, Jerry Pritchett, and today we're going to talk about him. I mean, take a look at his profile pic. It's my look at those tats. He's looking freaking monstrous and strong, and we want to talk about how we think he's going to do in the Shaw Classic and how his preparation is feeding into that. So first of all, let's take a look at how Jerry did in the recent World's Strongest Man. And so, if you haven't checked out this video yet, it's another one of mine. Look at that. Winner revealed World's Strongest Man 2020 final results. And here we can see how Jerry and all the others did with an in-depth analysis. So check that one out if you haven't done so yet. But we can see here Jerry finished fourth. He was close to finishing second for a while and ended up in fourth in World's Strongest Man, by far his best performance of his career, which previously was ninth. And so you can see here he got third place, 8 points on the loading medley. Didn't do so great on the keg toss. Exceptional on the log ladder, and we'll take a look at a short video clip that he posted recently of him performing that event. Third place in the deadlift. It's actually a tie, so Novikov had that World's Strongest Man record on that 18-inch deadlift, and then Jerry, JF, Caron, and Adam Bishop tied, so that's why it's 8 points instead of 9. Then he did very well again on the Hercules hold, beaten only by JF Caron and Kevin Ferris, who's become renowned now for his grip strength. And then in the Atlas Stones, Jerry doesn't do so great. He actually admits on his Instagram that he kind of ran out of gas on that last stone, the 460-pound stone, I believe it was. And so now that we've looked at that, let's see what he's up to. So if we go back to Jerry's Instagram, which I've been following closely to gather all this information for you, first let's see some kind of visual evidence of how well he did at World's Strongest Man. So here we have Jerry kind of mentally preparing to do that 18-inch deadlift, which looks like, fairly daunting, but not for him, right? He's a renowned deadlifter. And then you see Jerry actually perform the deadlift here. So it's funny because these clips they have folks yelling like, "Go Jerry, go!" And they weren't allowed to have their families over there. So it's funny that the crew isn't really biased to him, even when he's competing against other people. But anyway, so there's the lift, powerhouse. Jerry gets it up with no problem. And so he talks about here how it's 509 kgs or 1,122 pounds. Again, an 18-inch deadlift, not a standard height deadlift, but an incredible amount of weight to move. Probably the weight that everybody would have guessed would be the winning weight if Novikov hadn't come out of nowhere and done that, otherworldly amount at 537. So then we go on to the log press medley, and or the log ladder, if you will. And so this is the one where they had to lift logs of increasing weights. And as you notice, Novikov off to a really fast start, doing flying leaps over the logs, but it kind of backfires on him, and there it goes off the pads. And referee Magnus Vera Magnusson had mentioned before this event began, as we saw in the Facebook clips, that it needs to land and stay back on the pads when you're done. So mistakes like that cost you. And if you're looking over to the left at Jerry Pritchett, no mistakes. He's just solid, consistent all the way through. A methodical timing, and doesn't try to rush it, and he's going over the logs too, but with a methodical step. He actually puts his hand on the logs on some of the reps to make sure it doesn't move off the pads. And here he overtakes Novikov at the end, who's out of gas and can't do the last log, but Jerry, since he went in with a plan and stayed with a standard pacing, was able to complete them all and overtakes him in the end. So And again, he mentions here the weights, which we didn't know for sure at the beginning, were 290-pound log moving up to 400 at the end. Now, 400 pounds is not near the world record max log press of, I think it's in the 530s or something like that, but they're doing, you know, a multitude of logs here, and so by that time you're going to use up your energy and your stamina and not be able to do anywhere near what you would do on a 1 rep max, right? So that's 3, 4, 5 logs, it looks like. So if we go on through his posts a little more, we see some more of his great accomplishments during World's Strongest Man 2020 this year. Really exciting. This is the anvil carry, 275 pounds into a yoke, right? So this was the loading medley, and you'll see he's going up. It looks like it's kind of far away, but it looks like it's Graham Hicks he's going up against. And so both of them get a pretty decent lift. Graham gets a better lift, but Jerry's just super fast. And watch this transition. It's a thing of beauty. Floats right around the tire like it isn't there, like he's practiced this 10 million times. Like, you know, he has anvils at home and knew there would be a tire and just knows how to float right around it. And look at the quick work he makes of this, I'll say it again, imbalanced yoke. I don't know why World's Strongest Man decided to put 3 implements on a yoke instead of 4 lighter ones that would equal the same weight and make it balanced for them. The Arnold's has the hay bales that has equal hay on both sides, you know, like let's not make it hard on the competitors for no reason. But an incredible performance there by Jerry Pritchett. Like I said, that float around the tire was like such a thing of beauty to watch. And so this is what he's up to today in preparation for the Shaw Classic. This was 17 hours ago, posted on his Instagram. So he's doing a set of farmers, 350 pounds for one length, and you see they're adding more weight. So he comes back with 400 pounds for the second length, and then he's going to go into an 890-pound frame carry for the third lap. So 350 and 400 adds up to 750. Why a frame that's so much heavier? Because farmers are harder to walk with. They dangle around, they can hit the legs, they have to be balanced, whereas a frame, you pick it up and it's stiff. It's not going to move around and hit you as much, and that's why he can do... I mean, look at how easily he's walking with this 890-pound frame. It's unbelievable. It's funny. It's like he's putting it away for the day. Like, let me go put it back in the garage. Like, no one else can move this thing, but I will. No problem. So Jerry Pritchett looking awesome in farmers and frame carry. And then, you know, if we go look at some of the events that we have in the Shaw Classic, and these were my predictions that I made on a very recent video that you should go watch if you haven't yet. It's getting a lot of attention, and I've done all the analytics here. So I have Jerry coming in second in the Shaw Classic, and the reason why is there's a Farmers in Shaw Classic, and I have him coming in second to Novikov, you know, similar to what happened in World's Strongest Man. And then there isn't a frame carry here, but like I said, there is a Farmers and some of these other events as well. So that's based on what I'm seeing of Jerry's kind of current training here. Nothing has changed my mind about how great he's going to do in the Farmers carry at the Shaw Classic. So hopefully this has been really informative for you, and you know, we can take a look again at the Farmers just for comparison on how he did in World's Strongest Man. We just saw it. We just saw what he's doing now, but what did he do during World's Strongest Man? Jerry did 52 meters on 331-pound farmers in each hand, right? So that's comparable to the best of any group. Singleton beat him by 1/4 meter. He tied with Kevin Ferris, for example. Novikov is the only guy who carried, besides Singleton, who carried the Farmers further than Jerry did. He just did incredibly. And T-Rex is not competing in the Shaw Classic. So I think that makes Jerry second place, unless Novikov suddenly has a loss in grip strength, and then Jerry will beat him too. So we've done our little comparisons of how Jerry did in World's Strongest Man for all of the events, how he did specifically in the Farmers in the World's Strongest Man. what he's doing to prepare today. And so that kind of feeds into my predictions, which have not changed. I think Jerry Pritchett will place second in the Shaw Classic 2020. I hope you found this analysis informative, and I hope that you will come back here to My Block Strongest Man for your one go-to source of updates on all the competitors who will be competing on December 12th at the Shaw Classic. Next time, stay tuned for, I wanted to do JF Caron, but he hasn't updated his Instagram in a while, so we'll try Robert Oberst next time. So we'll catch you then, and thanks for joining me. So if you like this video and want to learn more about any of the products I described during this video, make sure to check out the links in the description below. So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.